Okay, guys, before we get to our story, I uploaded a quick parody of what happened at last night's Oscars where Will Smith rocked Chris Rock's jaw. Yeah, he slapped the crap out of him. And people are saying, oh, it was staged. That was a fake slap. That was a movie slap. No, it was real. He got him. And people are saying, why did they censor it on ABC TV? Because you can't say the F word on ABC TV. Japanese television, I believe, was the one that people were sharing where it's uncensored. And that's the one I shared too, where it was uncensored. But he slapped the crap out of him. Now people are saying, well, that was just for ratings. No, it was real.
G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Get my name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
And it was because Jada Pinkett Smith has been dealing with alopecia, which is a disorder that where you lose your hair. And so she's just shaved her head bald and said, I'm just going to go bald. And, you know, in G.I. Jane, Demi Moore, remember, she shaved her head bald, if you've seen the film. So Chris Rock was making that comparison, and Will Smith had just had it with people making fun of Jada Pinkett Smith's alopecia, which I kind of agree. It's like making fun of Michael J. Fox's Parkinson. You just don't do it. That's just a line, you know. I don't even know if Ricky Gervais would go that far. I mean, I don't know. Only Ricky would know, right? But I don't know. So Will had just had enough and just said, I'm done with it. Now people are like, well, he was laughing, but if you look behind him, Jada's like rolling her eyes, and you know. So when the camera cut away, something happened. Maybe she gave him a look like, hubby, you're gonna do something, you're gonna laugh, and he got up and he did his thing. He's apologized. Tyler Perry, Bradley Cooper, Denzel all consoled Will Smith during the commercial break. His publicist said, dude, you gotta chill. So there you go. That's what happened. But moving on, it was real. And the LAPD also released a statement. Chris Rock has declined to file a police report. Well, of course he has. That'd make him the worst idiot in Hollywood. He'd be shunned if he filed a police report, especially after that joke. Somebody should file a police report on this, the bad joke that Chris Rock told. Moving on, this story comes to us from StarTribune.com. Keegan Rowling worked out in a Brooklyn Center gym in March of 2020. A federal judge has dismissed felony gun and drug charges against him after finding officers illegally searched his car. Now, a federal judge dismissed the felony drug and gun charges against a former policy fellow for Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry's office, finding 2 Minneapolis police officers illegally searched his car during a traffic stop in 2020. U.S. District Judge Nancy Brazel ruled that evidence overwhelmingly did not support claims by Minneapolis officers Zarek Fuller and Daniel Ledman that they smelled marijuana coming from Keegan Rowling's car after they pulled him over. They always say, I smell marijuana. No, I farted. You can sniff away. Brazel threw out the evidence the officers collected during what she deemed an unconstitutional search. You go, Judge. Calling Ledman's testimony about the stop inconsistent and not credible. Well, of course it's going to be inconsistent. That's what the camera's for. That's why we record the police. So there's consistency. Across the United States, police frequently cite the distinctive odor of marijuana as legal justification for a warrantless vehicle search. Over the past few years, as more states legalize or decriminalize it, Judges, legislators, and police departments are starting to reject the long-held notion that the smell of pot alone is enough to circumvent the Fourth Amendment's ban on unreasonable searches and seizures. Yes, because they might have it on their clothes. Maybe I smoke some marijuana at home. Maybe my roommate smokes some marijuana at home and it's on my clothes. It's illegal in California. There you go. I mean, you can ask me, have you just smoked? Because if I'm high, that could still be, driving under the influence of marijuana. But if I say, no, my roommate smoked it, it's all over my clothes. There you go. I don't know. I digress. But in Minnesota, where even medical cannabis is still heavily restricted, Rolling's case marks a rare example of a judge rebuking police claims of marijuana odor as grounds for a vehicle search. Rolling said in an interview, I just so happen to have a mountain of evidence to prove that they were lying. But in any other case, it's my word against the police. Who are they going to believe? Well, that's why we record the police. Oh, it's on YouTube. Jimmy recorded it. Wait, it's right there. Rawlings said he's filed a complaint against the officers with the city's Office of Police Conduct Review, a division of the Department of Civil Rights. His attorney, Robert Rickman, said the case speaks to a larger issue with how police officers in Minneapolis are allowed to exploit their authority. Richmond said, a cop willing to lie is willing to abuse his power in other ways. If these cops are allowed to lie with impunity, we can expect even greater lawlessness by the Minneapolis police in the future. Well, remember, Derek Chauvin and his his three stooges, Derek Chauvin and his three stooges, all worked for the Minneapolis police. George Floyd, sound familiar? But it goes down. There's a few more paragraphs to read if you're really interested in this story. Here's one where the Minneapolis police, the judge ruled against him and said, no, we're not doing that. You violated his Fourth Amendment. So that really leaves the door open for Keegan KJ Rowling, who was, again, one of Mayor Jacob Fry's staffers. He can now go back and file a lawsuit, right? In fact, he can go to the NAACP and file, or not the NAACP, he could probably do that because he's a person of color, but he could also go to the ACLU and file a Fourth Amendment violation lawsuit. So we'll see what he decides to do. In Minneapolis, they just don't learn. Well, whatever, Derek Chauvin got to do it. Well, yeah, he's also doing 22 years